All right, Wes at Avatar Off-Road here. Today we're going to go through the assembly process for our new tire and ladder carrier for the Spreader VS30.
Part of your kit is a set of early stops. We have a video separate from this one that'll show you how to do the install. This keeps your tire from touching the van as the door swings. So it just limits the amount of travel that your door has. For the ladder tire carrier install, you've got 3 brackets. 2 brackets look like this. The upper bracket is smaller, upper, lower. And then you've got your center bracket. The driver's side will have a notch in it. Each of these is going to take 3 3/8/16 bolts and nuts. You'll need a 7/32 Allen and a 9/16 open end wrench. Okay, we're going to start our install by taking our middle bracket. Right now we've got the ladder tire on its face, so we're looking at the back side. So our bracket is going to mount like this because we're going to picture our door here. Take one of our bolts, put it through, take a nut, feed it through, and I like to hold the nut up against the back side and just kind of spin the bolt into place. Then we'll repeat with the side. Pretty much just want to center up that bracket. It's got just a tiny bit of adjustment in it. These nuts grab really tightly, so you really don't even have to grab the back of the nut with a wrench. You can tighten this down good and tight just with the Allen. So we're going to take our large bracket. This is our lower bracket, so down near your steps. You're going to place it on here, same as the center. I'll often just put that first bolt in as a hold so that it doesn't fall away on me. We're going to repeat the last thing on the top bracket. So again, place your top bolt in. Now you don't have to hold on to it. Just kind of put your finger up against the nut, keep it from turning. Let the serrations do the rest. We're going to place our tire mount and then our M12 bolts. Take our M12 nuts on the back side. Once these guys are in, you're going to grab a 16 millimeter or a 5/8 will actually work. And you're going to tighten these down. Because these are serrated nuts, they grip kind of on their own with rather incredible force, and they do not want to let go. So you don't even necessarily need a wrench on the back side. You want to get those good and tight. The last aspect of the tire mount, because the tire mount is actually in 2 pieces. We have there's 3 of these that come in your kit. It's an M14 lug bolt. You'll find whatever lug nuts match the rest of your tires in order to bolt your new spare tire on. So you'll thread these in all the way. Once you've run these in all the way by hand, we're going to take an 18 millimeter. We're going to torque these down all the way. You'll notice there's a series of holes on here. I actually have a chart that says which one is which, but each one of these actually corresponds on either side, so you can use 2 of these little set screws. Corresponds to a different depth of your back spacing of your wheel. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to take your wheel, lay it flat on the ground, measure across the rubber down to the back of the wheel plate. Whatever that measurement is, you can look up my little chart, and you're going to set it to that given spot. And so there's 2 different holes. Some of them are going to line up here, some are going to line up here.
So if you measured 7 3/8, this should give you at least 3/8 less than that. So about 7 inches on this particular setup.
Ultimately, what you want, and what is absolutely critical to the install of this, is that the distance from this plate to this surface here be slightly less than the back of your wheel to the edge of the rubber of your tire. We want to have just a little bit of compression into the rubber to make sure that we have a good tight seal so the tire doesn't move around at all. You can just tighten that up once you have that set. Then we're gonna take our remaining 4 M12 bolts and we're gonna put them in these 4 slots with the remaining 4 nuts. This will keep your tire from being able to ever go anywhere. Again, grab your 18mm, tighten all these down. For the remainder of the install, in a previous video I have another version that shows how to do the drilling. This is a drill template. These underneath this is a square hole and then 2 round holes. You're gonna put this, you're gonna remove your existing badge, place this in its place, close the door, make sure that these 2 notches look level along the body line. Then you're gonna use a 7/16, tighten that up, use the 3/8 provided drill directly through this template, through the door on the driver's side. Once that hole is drilled, we're gonna take our plus nuts. Kit will come with 1 black screw and then 2 silver bolts. This is just a holding tool. There's a larger side and a smaller side that works. 1/4-20 works best on the small side. You're gonna pre-assemble these together. This is then going to press into that hole. You're gonna take an impact and a 3/8. Doesn't have to be a deep socket. And you're going to drive this in. It's gonna basically bottom out. A completed install is going to look like this. You will not be able to see this on the inside, but that's what it's gonna look like. This has incredible holding power and it's not going to strip or spin on you. Then you will unscrew the black screw, repeat the process on the second hole with your second plus nut, and then you'll use these 2 silver screws to go through the center mount into the door. The remainder of your kit includes a lower spacer washer, an upper hinge spacer washer, 4 push nuts. This little spacer with a square in it, that is for the uppermost hinge bolt. So when you assemble that bolt, you're gonna actually put the spacer in, apply it through here, and then push the push nut on. All 3 other holes are just gonna get a carriage bolt and a push nut. The reason we're using these push nuts, they're not required. If you find them difficult to press on, they're not needed, they just aid in installation. They keep the bolt from being able to fall out while you're installing it. Now, when you go to install these, they will not move on you, they won't fall out, and they're easy to access the nut. Our door open at 90 degrees, we're gonna take our upper bracket with the pointy end. It's gonna go into that little recess like that. Bracket, for now, I'm actually just gonna set right here on the tailgate. Whoever is helping me on the inside is gonna take care of that. So you're gonna take your ladder. You can see that the 2 holes are here. I like to make sure I line those up first. So your partner's gonna hold on to it as you stab this in, and he's gonna get a nut started. Next, you're gonna move to the bottom. These are gonna line up. Until this point, you're just gonna make sure this side is floating. So your partner on the inside is going to face her in, and then start a nut. Before everything is tightened down, I recommend getting these loosely started. Make sure the center bracket is the first one you actually finalize tightening, and then go back and do your final tightening with by hand with a wrench. Tend not to trust an impact, even though they're great, they don't have any real feel to them. the plus nuts are set, they're gonna look like these two here. Ignore this one, that's from another different product on our test fan here. You'll notice that these have the ability to move just a little to line up. This is why we don't tighten the hinges until we get these set. So you're gonna take your two 1-inch long 1/4 bolts, get these started by hand, make sure you don't cross thread. Then we'll grab our impact, tighten these two down. You're gonna grab your 9/16 impact, and you're gonna finish tightening all 4 of the back nuts.